People think the scariest monsters hide in haunted houses. They don't. They hide on TV, in front of millions, smiling. The worst thing I ever saw didn't happen in a forest or an abandoned asylum. It happened on the Wendy Williams show, the day Diddy walked on stage, and his eyes went black. And no, the cameras didn't catch it, but I did, because I was right there in the audience. And what he did to Wendy that day, she never got back. Someone once told me, the most dangerous traps are the ones everyone laughs at. That's exactly what happened the day I went to Wendy Williams' show. I wasn't a first-timer. In fact, talk shows had become my weird little addiction. The lights, the fake laughter, the warm-up comedian who always looked half alive. I don't know, it just made me feel close to something bigger. I'd been to every show: Tamron Hall, The View, Fallon, Dr. Oz, but Wendy's studio felt different. Alive, chaotic in a fun way, like a carnival run by adults pretending they weren't falling apart. But that day, nothing felt alive. The staff didn't smile. Security's faces looked carved from rock. The studio was cold enough to see your breath, and everyone acted like something unseen was walking beside them. I thought maybe I was imagining it. I wasn't. The warm-up comedian fumbled his lines. Wendy came out early, which she never did. Her smile didn't look like a smile, more like a mask trying not to crack. She kept glancing into a dark corner backstage, a corner where no lights hit, a corner where no one stood, but where something felt like it was waiting. Then the music hit, the crowd clapped, and Diddy walked out. The sound was loud, but the emotion was wrong. The clapping wasn't human, it was synchronized, like everyone suddenly shared the same heartbeat. My own chest tightened the second Diddy stepped on the stage. His shadow lagged behind him by half a second, then snapped back as if someone yanked it. Nobody else reacted. Wendy laughed her normal big laugh, but her eyes, she watched him like he was a wave she knew would drown her. The interview starts, and the air changes. They talked about his clothes, his teeth, his vibration. Every time he said vibration, the floor under my seat hummed. Not loud, just enough to feel like something alive was crawling under the building. The lights dimmed by themselves. Cameras flickered. Audience members rubbed their arms like the room dropped 10 degrees. And Wendy, she kept laughing, but it wasn't her laugh. It was like something was pulling it out of her. Then Diddy talked about what he puts inside himself. The studio lights flickered again. I remember thinking, this is not a celebrity interview. This is something else. Wendy said one sentence, just one. My son, he's a great young man. The air collapsed. Diddy turned his head toward her, and I swear to God, his eyes went black. Not pupil dilation, black, like looking into a tunnel with no end. It lasted less than a blink, but it was enough. Wendy didn't flinch. Her body did. Her shoulders dropped. Her smile cracked. Something inside her dimmed, like someone turned down the light in her spirit. No one around me reacted. The crowd laughed right on cue. They clapped at the applause sign. Everyone looked normal, but I felt something move through the air, something cold, something hungry. And the worst part? Diddy didn't look at Wendy. He looked through her, like he was checking if the thing he came for was done. The moment filming ended, Wendy didn't faint or collapse. She just slowed, like someone unplugged her. She walked backstage, steady, calm, but dimmer, like a candle running out of oxygen. Everyone grabbed purses and laughed and talked, but I stayed seated. I knew I'd seen something I wasn't supposed to. And then something whispered inside me, follow her. So I did. Producers were panicking, mascara streaks, people crying, security barking into radios. The whole place felt wrong, like the walls were vibrating. I slipped into Wendy's hallway, the one leading to her private dressing room. Her door was cracked open. Never happens. She always kept it locked, her safe space. Inside, she looked nothing like herself. Her wig was crooked. Her hands trembled around a cup. Her whole aura looked faded. When she turned to me, she didn't ask who I was. She asked, "You saw it, didn't you?" I swallowed. "I think I did." "What did you see?" she whispered. "You fading." She closed her eyes. "I had a plan today," she said. "I was going to expose him. I had receipts. But when he mentioned my son, everything in me collapsed." She touched her chest. "He didn't compliment my boy. He warned me." My stomach flipped, and when his eyes went black, she whispered, "That meant he was feeding." "Feeding?" I asked. She nodded slowly. "When he shows the eyes, he's taking something. Not fame, not money." She pressed her hand harder against her chest. "He took something from in here. I felt goosebumps spread down my arms. My spirit, she whispered. He came for my spirit. You saw his eyes, she breathed. That means he saw you too. You're on his radar now. My heart froze. Leave, she whispered. Don't ever sit in another audience again. They don't protect people like us. And then, run. I stumbled out of the building shaking. The world looked normal again. Taxis, tourists, noise. But the vibration came back, a low hum behind my ribs. Then a convoy of 5 black SUVs turned the corner. Slow, hungry. The middle one rolled its window down, just an inch, and there he was, Diddy. Expression empty, eyes half lit by streetlights, looking at me like he recognized me. Not threatening, not angry, claiming. The SUV rolled away with a soft click, and I knew something inside me had changed forever. I stopped going to studios, stopped watching interviews, stopped sleeping well. Months later, Wendy fainted live on air, slurred her words, lost her spark. People mocked her online, called her crazy. But I knew she wasn't crazy, she was empty. Exactly how she looked the moment his eyes went black. And sometimes at night, my bedroom lights flicker the same way the studio lights did. Sometimes I hear that low mechanical hum under my bed. Sometimes when I look in the mirror, something behind my eyes moves. And it's not me. Years later, I sent Wendy a message. Keep your spirits up. I still remember what he did. I didn't think she'd ever see it. But an hour later, she replied, 2 words. Thank you. Heavy enough to prove she remembered. Heavy enough to prove it was real. If you're still here, thank you for listening. Drop a comment if you've ever felt something watching you from behind the TV screen. Hit like, hit subscribe, because we're almost at 100,000, and I have more true horror stories to tell you. Before the lights flicker again,